providing something very exciting coming up. Don't say it. We're not allowed to.
Oh my gosh, I was almost to spill the beans, eh?
I mean, so many countries are so on board with these tournaments and wanting to send athletes and participate. So if you want to go to Manila, get in quick.
The Australian Open is in a month's time. Already.
Yeah, already it sneaks up, doesn't it?
Man, I'm loving being a full-time athlete. I feel so blessed to have this opportunity where I'm just like training, I can do things like this, just focusing on like myself and preparation is awesome. I'm very confident in my ability to move and control the space, you know, no matter how the fight goes. I'm like, yeah, I was out there and I had moments of control and dominance of the mat. I know I can do that well. I'm really looking forward to focusing on that.
Welcome back to the Kaizen Culture Pod, where we are keeping the conversation moving within Australian karate. My name is Mitchell Durham, here as always with Nathan Blockley. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, whether it be on Apple or Spotify. We're also watchable on YouTube, so please go over there and give us a watch. And while you're there, head over to the WKF YouTube channel to give the World Karate Cast a watch to get caught up on all the things international karate and also chats with the sports superstars. As always, please give the podcast a rating because it helps us out a bunch. Nathan, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic. It's episode 48.
Oh my gosh, we're closing in on 50.
We're getting close. We're getting close to half a century. This is incredible. It's going to be a great milestone when we reach it. We're still not sure what we're going to do for it.
No idea.
Maybe if there's some suggestions from listeners, what they want to hear from 50 episodes. I feel like there must be some like callbacks to previous episodes where we started. I mean,
it started pretty grim. I was actually looking at some of the stuff there because it was clearing some of the hard drive, and I was like, damn, that looks so bad.
Hey, it was bare bones. Like, we had to start somewhere, but now, and I feel like what we're doing now is going to look exactly the same comparatively to what we do in like 2 years' time.
What's the studio going to look like in like 2 years?
Maybe it'll look like News Centre. Like just this massive desk. We'll fly guests in to comment on whatever topic. Yeah, we'll really
Flying
make
guests.
it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think.
Imagine that.
I don't think.
Now, before we get stuck into this episode, we would just like to mention again that 2 weeks ago we announced that we have a sponsor for everything that we're doing involving Kaizen culture for 2026. Care for Kids School of Early Learning is helping us out this year. They're an amazing Western Australian family-owned childcare company that have extended their generosity beyond the daycare and the learning centres that they have around Perth, and they're helping us out this year. So we can't thank them enough for being a sponsor for Kaizen culture in 2026.
And yeah, just a reminder that if you're listening out there and you think that there might be a space for you to promote on our platform, then we're definitely open to conversing, because yeah, it's a fantastic initiative that Care for Kids is jumping on. We're happy to support them and they support us, so it's good for all parties.
Extremely grateful for that. Now, the Youth League in Manila, it's not for a while, but you need to get onto this now straight away.
It is. Registration is open now.
It is currently open.
And it sells out so quick. I mean, Carter might already be sold out. We're not sure, obviously, because registration hasn't opened up at the time of recording. But when we release this, it'll be in its second day, I believe.
It's a different system, this one. So it's like the first window, they release it in stages for divisions.
Yes.
So today, we're recording, it's the 4th of March. Happy birthday to my sister, by the way. That is the Carter entries for today, and that goes until the 7th. And then the 8th starts under 14 kumite. And then the 12th goes from cadet kumite, 16th junior kumite, and then the 20th of March onwards, all the way up until the 29th of April, is open registration with no restrictions. But I really doubt that it would get to the late days of April, and there will still be spaces left.
Yeah, no, usually it sells out like that. I mean, so many countries are so on board with these tournaments and wanting to send athletes and participate. So if you want to go to Manila, get in quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they sell out like concert tickets, really.
Yeah, do you want to explain how we register? Because it's sort of changed a little bit from what we used to do, which was go through the National Federation. Now it's a lot onto clubs and onto individuals to register themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe Karate Australia sent out an email not so long ago detailing exactly the process that you need to follow. But just in case if you missed the email, it's Pretty much the same process for all Karate One events. So this is the same for Youth League, Series A, and Premier League now. You have to create an account through Sport Data, and you can do it as a club or an individual, but you go through the process of following the steps to create an account, email confirmation, etc., etc. You log in again, and then you have to add a new competitor. So once you've created your account, you add a competitor, and you fill in the details for each competitor. Once the details are in for this competitor, which needs to be precise, because this is what's going to be registered at the tournament. And if it doesn't match up with your details on the day, I can't imagine they would let it slide. No. So yeah, once it's registered, you can go into the athlete registration of the Karate One event, which can be found on the Karate Australia website, also on the WKF website as well, and it will take you to Sport Data. There are a couple of different thumbnails. Have you seen these? There's like 4 or 5 different thumbnails.
Yes, yeah. So there's some for the coaches, there's some for the officials, there's some actually I don't think press is one. But
referees.
there's referees one, and then athletes, but it doesn't even say athletes.
No.
It just has the entire tournament and it doesn't specify that it's for like coaches or officials.
Yep.
So it's that one. It's the no description of who the registration page is for. It's just for the tournament. That's the one you want to click on.
Absolutely. So now, depending on the timing, whether it's open or not, you scroll down to accept the terms and you click yes to agree to the terms and conditions. Who reads the terms and conditions anyway?
Don't read the terms.
Read the terms and conditions thoroughly. Anyway, you go to the event and it takes you, and it would say add individual entry. You select the competitor that you added before that's in your database, match it with the correct division, and add your gi brand. They love just having the gi brands on there for some reason. And then you'll be put on the wait list. And so you don't need to pay immediately, but just get it done. Once you are on the wait list, you go to My Current Entries, and then you complete the payment through PayPal.
Yep. The main point of it is figure out how to do it before registration opens if it hasn't already. Have a look on the Karate Australia website under their events. If you click on Manila, it will take you to, there's a big paragraph or two of the steps on how to register, or just like rewind this podcast like 2 minutes and listen to Mitch list it out again. But go to your head of style, make sure they're across it. If you can't get help there, go to Karate Australia, like email them, get some information. I'm sure they'll respond. And if still nothing's working, we're more than happy to help out in this. But it's we know it's a stressful process because it's time pressured. It's if you don't get in, then you have no other opportunity. And this is the only youth league in the calendar year that is anywhere close to us. So we know it's a stressful process. So just seek help. But yeah, the information is on the Karate Australia website.
Fantastic. All right. Next thing that's coming up is the Australian Open is in a month's time. Already.
Yeah, already. It sneaks up, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness. It's exciting.
It is.
It's very exciting. Now we've got, first of all, Declan on board today as our guest. So the Rome Premier League is first for everyone that's eyes on Declan competing. Unfortunately, Iris and myself had to withdraw because Declan was already travelling on the way to Italy. He's over in Austria at the moment. We'll get into talking about that now. So he was already travelling before all this sort of stuff happened in the world.
Yes.
We won't go into talking about all that sort of stuff, but Iris and I just decided it was a bit too crazy for us to go for a Premier League at the moment. So we've had to pull out, unfortunately.
Yes, it's the things that happen, isn't it? I mean, it's a longer flight path. It's significantly more expensive if you don't want to go through the Middle East region. And yeah, I'm sorry that it didn't make sense for you as an athlete. I'm sorry to Iris as well. There's a lot of time and energy that goes into preparation for one of these tournaments. It's fantastic that Declan could get over there early, and he just got lucky with his scheduling and his planning.
I'm just mad I got skinny for no reason. I'm starting losing all this weight, and now I got to whatever. It's fine, whatever. It's great. There's much more bigger problems in the world that's going on than me having to lose a few kilos.
Yeah, and the Oz Open is coming up, and that's going to be an incredible event.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that. It's one of our 2 major tournaments in the calendar year in our region. There's Oceania as well, but this is the one of the tournaments that's open to everybody in Australia, and it's so exciting. We're going to have a massive presence there as our company. We've got a media team lined up of I think we're going to like 9 people, which is insane. I think we had 7 at Nationals last year, so we're increasing once again. We're providing all the services you've known to love from us, and we'll have a stall there as well, providing something very exciting coming up that we'll announce either at the event or before the event. I'm not sure. Yeah, don't say it. We're not allowed to.
Oh my gosh, I was almost to spill the beans, eh?
But yes, it's going to be such an exciting event.
Oh my gosh. All right, so before we talk about Oz Open stuff, which is going to be coming in the next few episodes, I think we're going to start talking about Declan and his journey overseas, and also get a little bit of insight on his decision to drop weight, cut so much. I think he cuts like 20 kilos.
I think it's more. Actually.
Yeah, 25.
That's what I heard on the grapevine.
Yeah, exactly. But for those of you that don't know Declan Squire, he's a staple of the men's team for a while now. He's been around the block, an extremely bright person in the team, always full of energy. He started karate at 3 years old. Did you know that? 3 years old.
I wasn't allowed.
What were you doing at 3 years old, Nathan?
I was a mischievous little prick. I wasn't allowed to start karate. I was way too immature to hold my attention for an hour.
But Declan is now a full-time teacher at BBMA in New South Wales, also a full-time athlete. He's been a senior world championship representative in 2021 and also last year in Cairo 2025. Oceania champion in 2 weight categories, by the way, minus 60 and minus 67. So that's the topic we're talking about today. He was traditionally in minus 67 kilograms, has now dropped down over the past couple of years to minus 60, which is absolutely insane.
Double champ.
Double champ?
Double champ.
Oh, yeah, double champ. Oh, my goodness. He's got to have that title on him.
Yeah.
Back-to-back national champion, minus 60, minus 60, minus 67, which is pretty crazy.
Yep.
Multiple International Open tournament medalist over in Lisbon, Luxembourg, Vienna, Liège, and Bunzai, which I believe is Berlin. I think it was the same competition that we were at together. Declan, and the really cool one here, as a minus 60 kilogram athlete, he's medaled at an international senior open weight category event. He won Luxembourg Open, and he came second last year against the big man DT, Daniel Thielen, at the Oceania last year. That's huge.
Incredible. Luxembourg Open as well is a very high class tournament for that tier. That's an incredible achievement. It takes 60. Incredible.
I think it just goes to show, like, you're just always going. I hear this all the time. They go, "Oh, I'm too small for the Open."
Yeah.
And you're like, mate, look at Declan.
Yeah.
He just won the Luxembourg Open.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we should bring him on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we have Declan Squire onto the podcast today, traveling around all around the world. How are you, Declan?
Yeah, I'm good. No, a little bit tired, recovering from the travel, but I made it. So, yeah, ready to get into things.
That is the important thing. It's a pleasure to have you on this pod, Dec. I think we've got so many topics we want to cover with you, and I think it's also really exciting for me. We get to hear about what you're feeling going into your first Premier League ever. Which is really exciting because a lot of like the listeners, they haven't done a Premier League, but they probably have ambition to do one in the future. So getting some insights of how you're feeling, how you've prepped, the adversities you've come across. Obviously, you've come across a couple of challenges in the most recent days with travel. We're really keen to talk to you. So thank you for taking the time to come on.
No worries. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
So first of all, where are you? What are you doing? And how are you feeling going into this next week, leading into the Premier League in Rome?
Yeah, so I'm currently at, I think it's called the Olympia Zentrum. So it's kind of like the AIS in Austria. I think. So yeah, I'm staying here for just over a week training with the Austrian national team. So it's their current national team training for a few days. And then I'll stay and do a bit more training with them before we fly to Rome. So man, I'm loving being a full-time athlete. Like, I feel so blessed to have this opportunity where I'm just like training. I can do things like this, like, bits and pieces of other stuff, but just focusing on like myself and preparation is awesome. So that's really, really good. And then, yeah, man, I'm stoked for Rome. Like, yeah, like it's just such a good opportunity. You know, I'm loving everything about it. So
We can
yeah,
see
bring it on.
we can see you're passionate about this. I mean, you're so active on Instagram. For
which we
those who want
love.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not something we often see from Australian athletes because it's sometimes a hassle to do. Like you want to do it, but it's a lot of
Mm,
effort. But Declan, we can see how
mm.
much you put into it. If the listeners, if you want to go check him out on Instagram, Squirrel Depembo.
Where's this come from,
Yeah,
by the
where
way?
has this
What
come
is
from?
squirrel?
Okay. So I don't know. Is this something that like I've always like a few different things. Obviously, my last name's Squire. I got called out for chipmunking all the time when I eat. Is I put food in my mouth and then I forget and just leave it in my cheeks. So I can talk, but I had food in my cheeks, and I just did this for years. And obviously, my last name is Squire. You know, like video games or like little mobile games, you use Squirrel.
I love
And
it.
then,
Can we attribute this
yeah, I
nickname
thought it
to
was
anyone?
fun.
Can you give credit to someone for this nickname?
No, no. I mean, it is also kind of based off Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece.
Oh,
So I'm a big One Piece fan. So there's kind of that, you know, obviously Squirrel. I don't know, maybe like my brother and mum would use it a bit. Liam would always, like Sensei Liam would always call me out for chipmunking food. So I just a combination. And then Pembo being, I have sort of two last names now. That's my stepdad's last name. So I wanted to incorporate everything together. Thought it'd be fun.
oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, we see how
Yeah.
active you are on Instagram. You do a lot of like informational stuff, which is great for athletes to see what you're doing in terms
Mm,
of like strength training. And obviously, we're going to talk about the weight cut and whatnot. But I suppose just for the get go, we want to see how your travel's been. Obviously, you had to take a pretty extreme route to get to where you are. And I also want to hear about where you're training, and is this like a pretty
mm.
consistent place that the Austrian national team train, and what's different, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I'll start at the start, like my travel. So I was sitting at the airport and I was like, oh, this flight's a bit delayed. And I like, you know, I was just chilling out, probably watching something on my phone. Been walking around for a while because I knew I was going to be sitting on the plane. So I wanted to get some steps in and just move around for a bit. And then I was like, yeah, what's happening? Got a call from my dad and he said, oh, where are you flying through, by the way? And I went, oh, Doha. Why? And he goes, oh, no reason. And then I obviously Googled it and I'm like, oh, Doha's closed. And then, you know, I don't know, like 2 hours later, they sent us packing home. So I got the train home. It's like 2 hours from the airport for me. I got home, I booked a flight for the next day. So by the time I got home, they'd officially canceled the flight. Booked a flight for the next day. So instead of through Doha, I had to fly through LA. But problem was, by the time I got home and then calculating when I had to leave to get to the airport again, I had about 30 minutes.
Oh,
So I like made some breakfast that I could take with me, and then I laid down for like a 30-minute nap. I woke up, my dad woke me up to my alarm blaring in my ear, and I was just dead. I was just out cold. Anyway, yeah, so got back to the airport, flew to LA, had a stopover in LA. I had to walk around for like 2 hours to try and find my. I was having like a little nap in a hotel because I hadn't slept in about 48 hours. I spent about 2 hours trying to find that hotel. And then, yeah, bit of a nap, maybe like an hour, back on the plane from Munich. Missed the train because there were problems with the TV.
oh
So then I had to
no.
wait another half hour to
Problems with the
hour
train.
at
It was in German.
Munich. Yeah, because I had to fly to Munich. Yes, yes. No, yeah, German trains. The Germans that I was talking to, or like they're notoriously terrible. Yeah. Anyway, so then I made it to Linz. I don't know. I feel like I hadn't slept for like 3 days, just like naps.
But this is like the
But yeah,
classic like troubles that we run into as like athletes traveling overseas and making our own
yeah,
plans. Like we've had our fair
yeah,
share of mishaps and
Just a couple.
just a couple. But I don't know. We've traveled together as well, Deck, and this is just like
yeah.
the things you get to experience and. Um,
But the best bit is like as stressful as it is, you finish and you're like, hey man, what an adventure. And now I get a sick story that I get to tell everyone. And like, oh, that happened to you. You're like, ah, don't worry about it. It's fine. Like it's just that's half the fun. Like, is things going wrong? Like, it's not an adventure if everything goes right.
Exactly. My favorite
So
quote is, "If it's good, it's fun. If it's bad, it's funny."
That is good. That
yeah,
is. I like that quote. That's a good
I
one.
So
like it. I
yeah.
like it.
So you're currently in Linz now, and you're training
Yep.
with the Austrian team, and this is a
Yep.
relationship that you have nurtured for quite a while now. You've trained with these guys for a little bit. What's that been like for
Mm.
you in sort of with that relationship with the Austrian team?
Yeah, so the head Austrian coach for Kumite at the moment is actually Spanish, and he was a student of Sensei Antonio Oliver. So we trained with him a lot. So sort of through that connection, when we first came to Austria, we met him, and then we came back to train last year with them. And so this time I've come back alone to train. He's just a really like open guy. So staying here, people like, I mean, a few less this time, but when we were here last time, there were like Ukrainians, there were a few Israelis, Azerbaijanis, Slovakians, as well as Austrians. So like people just come here to train, like for there's been uni, things like that, and they just train here. Um, so really like open to bringing people in and support you as well. Like he won't just sort of bring you in, ignore you. Like it's like I'm his student, which is awesome. So yeah, I mean, it's just experiencing a full time athlete. So I'm staying here. A few of them will stay here as well, at the center. And then yeah, I mean, so like I have a program. Be like, okay, we're training this time. We're training this time. All right, this morning we did like a little strength testing, and then like, okay, we're running tomorrow, gym on Friday, and like it's all just planned out. Like I just get up and they tell me what to do. It's awesome.
And is that all run through Juan Luis?
Yeah, so he's doing. I'm not sure about some of the later sessions, but so far he's done everything. I'm not sure what he's. One of the other athletes was saying he might be like a sports scientist as well. But don't quote me on that.
But
So
he's got a
yeah, it's pretty
ton of
cool.
experience. Ton of experience. He's been
Mm,
around the
mm,
competitive space for decades, and he's
mm.
produced a lot of very top athletes. So it's really, this is goals, isn't it?
Yeah.
In terms
Yeah,
of like
100%.
Premier League prep, this is goals. You need a training camp overseas, so it's not like you have to do like imagine if Declan had to do this training here in Australia, which is great if you could do it, but then have to travel
And
all
the
this
travel that
way.
he just did.
Mm.
Yeah, and then you compete. Like
Yeah.
this is the way we sort of want it. You want to, and I know there's talks about, especially like the junior team doing this later in the year for the Junior World Championships. I believe there's
Mm,
talks about them training in Turkey, which is pretty cool, before the Junior Worlds. But this is the dream. This is goals. And especially for Austria, like they have their
mm,
team competing at the Premier League, and they have a training
mm.
camp before a Premier League.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's like it's phenomenal. And like you said, like I could fly here. I'm recovering a little bit, so I woke up like 3:30 this morning. So like, still like, but by the time I get to Rome, I will have trained for a week, sort of acclimatized to the time zone, but also just like training with everyone here.
Mm.
So I'm kind of in that headspace as well. So like, yeah, it is phenomenal, bro.
You are sorry. I do want to ask. You mentioned you were doing some strength testing and stuff as well. What are the facilities like that you're
Oh,
training in?
so they
What's it
have like a
what's it
full
like?
gym here. So they've got like their karate room. I mean, they've got everything here though. So they do like there's a swim pool. So we saunaed an ice bath last night. Um, and there's a gym here. I think there's like a track somewhere. Like, yeah, so they have everything. So the testing, it was just like 3 jumps. So I don't know if you've seen like they have like force plates. So we use them at our gym back home as well. But it just measures like your force in and then up. So yeah, that way you can kind of go, okay, you test, you do training, and then you go, okay, this is what we did, this is how much you improved. Um, so it's just very scientific. So they did their testing, so I just jumped on and did that as well. It was just like 3 jumps before our session. So
So
that's cool.
good. Imagine if we had that consistently. Oh, the statistics and the data that
Yeah.
you could scrape from that all year and just
So,
like the
so
following year would be so good.
that's something that we do at our gym. So every like 6 to 12 weeks or so, we'll do a bunch of different tests like jumping, Nordics, stuff like that. And it's all like measured equipment. So then they can track your progress. So it's funny for me because you can tell at what point of a cut I'm in. Because they'll be like, oh, why was this score terrible? And you'd be like, yeah, that was like 2 days before weigh-in. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, we'll just ignore that score. I'm like, yeah, I don't know why we were testing 2 days before weigh-in. I forgot to tell you that was my fault.
Now,
So,
now,
yeah.
Declan, we're going into your first ever Premier League. You've competed at the highest level. You've represented at the Senior World Championships twice. You've competed at Series A's and in many
Mm,
international opens, but this is the Premier League that we're talking about. This is
mm,
the
mm.
league that is taking over the world of karate at the moment, and this is your first one. How do you feel about this stage, the new structure? Obviously, it was the same as Cairo last year, but just talk us through where you're at the moment in your headspace.
So, I mean, yeah, first of all, love the round robin. So, like, big selling point was just that, yeah, you get that minimum amount of fights. So, you're getting that minimum experience regardless. And that's an awesome benchmark, just like to add value to the competition. Um, and look, in all honesty, when I first, so I entered myself on the Wednesday and we had a training on Thursday and I was a mess. I was just like, it just hit me that I was like, I am like competing at this level. So anything I did, I was like assessing, I was like comparing, like, am I Premier League quality? Um, anyway, but that was a while ago. But yeah, it definitely hit me. Like I was like, oh, like I got in my head about like I have to be something. And then I was kind of like, well, I am gonna be whatever I'm gonna be when I'm there. I'm gonna do, I know myself. There is no way I'm not doing everything I can to be as prepared as possible. So I'm not going to stress more about that. And whatever experience I have at this Premier League is exactly what I need because I can't change the experience I'm going to have. You know, if it means I get whooped 3 times, then that was the experience that I needed to grow. Like, I mean, it's all well and good. Of course, there's some days where you're still stressing about it, but I don't know. I'm more focused now on just like, I do this for the experience to grow, like as an athlete, as a person, as a martial artist, as a teacher. And these experiences, like, you know, the absolutely cooked travel, you know, being able to train here, you know, meeting new people, going into a Premier League, like these are all fantastic experiences that I'm just trying to absorb as much as I can from it. So, I mean, historically, I've been like, you know, very anxious about things, particularly traveling. But I don't know, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm just honest about it with myself now, where I'm like, yeah, of course that's there. Of course you're scared. Of course you want to do well. But like, hey, you'll be all right. You've done it before. So that's, yeah, that's where my headspace is at. And I'm just like psyched to fight the top guys in the world, at least 3 of them, you know, and then
Hopefully
back it
more.
up again. Yeah, exactly. Next time. Yeah.
That internal dialogue is so important, and it sounds like you're telling yourself the right things in preparation
Mm.
for this big event. And we know it's not going to be your last Premier League either. This is not a one and
Yeah.
done sort of thing. This is your
Yeah.
introduction into the league. But also
Mm.
you should have a lot of confidence going into this tournament as well because you've performed on the world stage at a very high tier quality as well.
Mm.
Your Series A last year in Malaysia, where it was open to all top athletes in the world, it wasn't restricted, was an incredible performance as well. What are
Mm.
you confident about going into this competition? What can you not wait to execute on the tatami?
I'm very confident in my ability to move and control the space. So I really want to feel like I'm out there and I'm not just like deer in the headlights. That, yeah, I'm confident that I know I can move, I can control, I can defend, and do my movement, my work. So I'm really looking forward to like feeling, you know, no matter how the fight goes, that I'm like, yeah, I was out there and I had moments of control and dominance of the mat, not just, you know, oh, I don't want to lose, I don't want to lose, and just standing still and getting punched. So I know I can do that well. I'm really looking forward to focusing on that.
Yeah, awesome. Is there anyone that you're like keen to fight? Have you had a look at the entries into your division? Is there anyone that you really want to fight and have in your pool?
I mean, I was looking forward to fighting Semden,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, but
Oh,
obviously I can't now.
yes. Yeah, of course.
Um, but I don't really because I mean, it's not like I can pick. And I don't know. I just whoever is in my drawer is going to be in my drawer. Like wanting to fight or not fight people, I mean, it's kind of irrelevant. So I just don't really think about it.
No, fair
I
enough.
mean,
Well,
I've looked. You look and go, oh,
yeah.
those people are in it. Yes. Like, that would be sick, and stuff like that. But I don't really worry about anyone in particular.
Do you have any learnings from Cairo, obviously from the round robin system being the
Mm,
first time that you've competed in that
mm.
system? Did you feel that there was any sort of adjustments or learnings that you're taking away and into Rome?
I mean, yeah, the round robin was a bit different. I enjoyed that it felt like there was less pressure in each moment. When you're going knockout, it's like, okay, if they score on me and then if they beat me, I'm out. Whereas this way, it's kind of like there's less pressure on each moment. They score on me, okay, no worries, I'll bring it back because you have two more fights still. So that for me really helped, I think. I found it a bit more enjoyable, that I guess mentality as well. And that's something I'd like to bring into knockouts now that I've experienced it. But the big thing I had was between my second and third fight. So I lost my first two and I was out. And I had a moment and I sat down. I just went, I'm out. I don't want to do this. Like, what's the point? And then I kind of looked around and I had a moment where I was like, oh, there's no one else here. Like, it's just me on my own looking after myself. I mean, yeah, Sensei Mark was there, but but it wasn't like family or like, say like Trevor, someone who can look at me, obviously Sensei Liam, and know exactly what's going on in my head. So for me to be able to be kind of like, no, you know, like I guess just get up, like, what are you so afraid of? And I really like sort of broke that down. I turned around. So I had a really good sort of moment, which yeah, I think came about because of that round robin format. And I don't know. I've changed a lot mentally in the past 2 years. I've grown a lot. Um, and I think that was a big moment too. So that's kind of last comp really that I did. So I'm looking forward to backing that up too now.
That's incredible. A lot of big takeaways that you're putting
Mm,
into this experience for Rome, and I'm sure you're gonna learn more afterwards, and you're gonna learn from what you did in Cairo and be better for it.
mm,
I suppose the
mm,
last thing where we want to know on the first Premier League for you, that topic,
mm.
Rome coming up. What does the next week for you look like?
In terms of training, we're resting over the weekend and we'll do Monday, Tuesday. We got a few more sessions over these next few days. We had a sort of big 2 days, and then tomorrow's a bit lighter, and then Friday's a bit lighter as well, and then rest for the weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday. I'm not sure exactly how much. So I mean, look, my weight's going fantastic. So just obviously between the training, I think the cold, you lose more weight in the cold. So yeah, just between all of that, everything's going well. And then yeah, so just I don't know, prepare, my journaling, my training, chill out, enjoy myself, and I guess that's it really.
That's a great little segue. You mentioning your weight there, Declan, because
Mm,
we mentioned at
mm,
the top of the episode you were previously a minus 67 athlete in the
mm.
seniors category, but now you're minus 60. You've lost, like we said, 25 kilos to get there. But how did
Yeah,
you
it was actually 30.
30? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of want to talk about the decision for you to go down because I don't know if a lot of people talk
Mm,
about this, and it's something
mm,
that a lot of people feel that they're just locked into a division from day one.
mm.
They're like, that's my division, and they
Yeah,
don't change.
yeah.
But just talk us through the process about that and how it all came about and your decision.
Yeah, it was actually interesting because it wasn't a decision really. It was like, so there was COVID, and then I don't know if many people know. So right before COVID, I like shattered my kneecap. So big injury, COVID. First comp back was open. I hadn't done any comps. I'd been back training for a bit. Um, I mean, I had to relearn how to walk during COVID. So like it was pretty hectic. Um, and then yeah, so we wasn't really expecting much. We were just kind of like, okay, first comp back, let's just go on the Oz Open. I was sitting at like, I don't know, like 63 kilos. So I was like, yeah, we'll just do 67s. I didn't think much of it. We just doing that. And then I won. And then I ended up getting selected for Worlds. and everything else pretty much got cancelled again, like sort of that re-COVID stuff. And then I had the top spot, so I just sort of stayed in 67s. I mean, I didn't really think much of it, and then and then obviously I sort of swung back around. Rory got that top spot again for Worlds, um, and so it was like, okay, we kind of had the conversation. We're like, okay, well, we've been overseas. A lot of guys are a lot taller than me, bigger than me. I mean, like Rory's like much stronger than I am.
I feel like
Some
Rory
of the
is such
guys
an
overseas like
outlier,
six
though.
foot two.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Rory is very strong for 67s. I didn't realize that like until I traveled more, that I was like, oh, Rory's just a madman. Um, but yeah, some of the guys are very tall, and I was always quite lean and small. Like, so we kind of spoke about it, and we're like, yeah, we think 60s would be a good fit for me. So it was kind of like we just didn't decide until then. We just kind of, I ended up there, and then I had the top spot. So it didn't make sense to talk about going down because I was the top spot. So it wasn't until that I wasn't the top spot. I was like, okay, well, you're not going to Worlds now anyway. So now let's talk about what do we actually want to do. So that's kind of how it went about, really. And it was just about what's best for me. So I sat down and spoke to Trevor's I'm going to get this wrong, dietitian, nutritionist. And so we spoke to him about, he'd just done it, of course. So we spoke about, whether it's possible. I'm a bit lighter than him. Worked out the process. Obviously sat down with Sensei Liam about it. And then the first comp I did actually was Cyprus Serie A. I was going to do 67s because I hadn't fully decided to cut down yet. But then 67s was full. So I was like, okay, well, reckon we can make 60s. So then that was the first one I did. And I just went from there. So
Guys,
that's kind of, yeah, that's how it went.
it sounds like a lot of stars sort of align that push you on this path to
Yeah,
make that
yeah,
weight change.
yeah.
Do you like retrospectively looking back? Do you sort of wish you made the change earlier? Do you feel more comfortable in 60 compared to 67 now, or is it?
I do feel more comfortable. Yeah, with my body, I'm actually a lot of torso. So even though I have to cut, I have short arms. Like it's just long. I have short arms, short legs, and just long torso. So I feel body wise, I fit a lot better. Like I'm strong for 60s, but I feel better in it. But I don't regret not going down sooner because there are a lot of things I got in the experience from still fighting in 67s, from fighting Rory, from traveling and fighting guys in 67s. So, I mean, I don't know what experience I would have if I didn't, but no, I don't regret it. I think it's worked out really well, and I am where I am because of that. So I'm happy.
Would you say that your body is like much more efficient now that you've gone down to this category?
Yeah, yeah. So there's definitely like that peak point that I sit at where, yeah, like I'm still strong, fast, have energy, but I'm lean. And so yeah, efficient would be a good way of putting it, I think.
Yeah.
Where everything that's there is needed.
Yeah, that's the one thing I noticed is like when I was dropped down to 75, it
Mm.
was like a lot of the puppy fat that was just hanging around and didn't really feel
Yeah.
efficient. But it was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
not tough decision, but I don't know about you, but when I did it, it was more like the stigma of like, oh, I don't want to drop down because you get
Mm.
the people
Mm.
talking about stuff. And at that
Yeah.
time, I
Yeah.
was sort of in combat with Max for different spots and stuff. And you
Mm.
hear a lot of people talking about like, oh, you're just moving to dodge this person
Mm.
here, and you're like. I was
Mm.
like, well, I don't want to move now because like you're gonna, think that
That's
I'm,
my
Yeah. Yeah.
division.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not just
I'm
exactly.
doing
not going to give
this.
that
Yeah,
up.
Yeah.
yeah, but I
No, for
think
sure.
if you're like a junior that's going into seniors or you're a fresh senior and
Mm.
you've slipped into a division that you think is correct
Mm.
and then you want to move, you've just got to move
Mm.
because it's best for your body and it's best for your performance in the division. You've got to block out that outside noise because people are going to talk about
Yeah.
stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So you got to do what's most efficient for you.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
if you are that age, like sort of going into the seniors, you should just fight at what you're naturally built for at that point. Don't think
Mm.
too much about cutting massive weight to make certain divisions. That can come later in life. But when you're at that stage, like junior, 16, 17, especially younger than that, just fight where you naturally are, because you'll eventually get to the point where, okay, I'm comfortable here, and we're taking a bit more seriously when you're like 21, 22, 23, you're starting to go into those senior divisions. You can chat with your coach and say, all right, is there something that's going to suit my body size more, and is it achievable to do healthily, which is what we're going to get onto, Declan, because you have been known,
Yeah.
as we've said a couple of times already on this pod, to cut a bit
Yeah.
of weight, and I'm sure that
Yeah.
first cut for the Cyprus Series A wasn't your best cut ever. So what have you learned over your experience cutting weight?
Well, actually, so that was the only time that I've made weight without having to sauna, was the Cyprus one. So it's crazy, right? Where, yeah, when I was in 67th, I was like 63 and I wasn't doing anything. I was just eating whatever I wanted, and I was just that. The moment I decided to go 60s, I like started going up a bit. And I was like, oh, I'm like 65 now. I'm like, oh, okay. And then, so Cyprus, I did like 4 weeks, maintain calories and stuff. And then, yeah, and I was just kind of like made it to Cyprus, a bit of dehydration from the plane and some training. I don't think I drank water for like that last sort of day, half a day. Woke up and I was like, oh, okay, I'm 60. Sweet. Weighed in. And then I've never been able to do it like that since, because I ended up putting on muscle. I was like, what? I didn't mean to do that. Oh, well.
You're getting
But
too jacked,
but
Declan.
yeah, I've learnt. Sorry.
You're getting too jacked.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've definitely, the big thing I've learned has been mental. My process is pretty similar, little tweaks and adjustments. It's more just because a lot of this science is different for everyone. So you kind of got to work out what works best for you. So, like last year, there were a few points where I was maintaining a certain amount of calories, and we just kind of went, that's diminishing returns. Like, because I'm at that low of calories, I'm moving less and I'm doing less with less energy. So I'm burning less. So if I go up a little bit more, I'm actually burning the same amount and I feel a lot better. So little tweaks like that. But the big thing is just mental. Like the first few weren't too bad because I didn't do it that frequent. Last year I did like 6 weigh-ins, I think, at 60. And so I had to really, like, over that, I was like struggling at times, like, obviously not eating. I'm traveling, and everyone else is eating like whatever they want. And I'm there, like, you weigh in for a comp, you fight, compete, and then I'm back watching what I eat again for the next comp. So I had to shift a lot of things mentality about like missing out and stuff. Just about, a few body image things. You start going, oh, I'm fit, I'm not fit. And you're like, well, no, I was fit the whole time. I'm just dehydrated, not dehydrated. So that's been the big thing actually. And this year, honestly, coming into stuff, I feel so much better. Like it doesn't feel like I'm not so stressed about I have to eat this, this, this. I just kind of do stuff and I'm feeling good about it. So that's been my biggest thing that I've grown from.
That's amazing. One thing that I struggle with a little bit is like the social aspect of it, like day to day. And
Yeah.
it's like, I
Yeah.
get caught up with I want to go hang out with some friends and eat meals with my
Yeah.
family. And I'm like,
Yeah.
because everyone loves food.
Loves food.
Everyone loves food, right? Everyone loves hanging out and
Yeah.
connecting like that. How do you sort of deal with the social side of it and going, I need to lock in a little bit?
Yeah. I'd say two things. One is the people that, for the most part, care about me most will always consider. So, for instance, one of the Austrians here, she's like, "Oh, we want to go out to dinner and stuff." She said, "Is there somewhere in particular we can go where you can eat?" And like the first question, because I'm the only one that's like cutting this much, the others are pretty much all right. And so, and like my family, mom's always like, "Okay, like, can you eat this?" Or like, at what point, where are you at? Because sort of earlier in my year, like I'll be maintaining and dropping weight, and then I'll have a meal with my family, and then I'll back to maintaining. So it might be one in the week. So there's that. The ones that don't, you know, try and understand tend to be the lower quality friends, and I find, and look. Obviously, your grandparents are different. They just don't get it. They're an outlier.
Oh,
The amount of food my grandparents like, oh, just try this. I'm like, I can't. I'm weighing in tomorrow. I'm not eating anyway. But they just, it's what they used to. It comes from their heart, right? But the other side is, I just do things that, if I want to do social things, then I mean, look, I've missed events and it's hard, but we have to make sacrifices as athletes. But like I'll go around have dinner with my family and I'll pack up my Tupperware container, put it in the fridge at work, go around and have dinner with them, and they eat their food and I eat my food. So yeah, I kind of get used to that. Like I bring my food a lot of the times. I work out different ways that I can sort of have like a snack that's fits into my plan for the day. Sometimes I'll sort of plan my days around an event. So, my dad had his birthday, so I just saved a few extra calories and I brought some dessert. So while they had cake, I had my little dessert. And sure, if I really thought about it, it was sad, but I knew I wasn't going to have the cake. So I, let that pass and just accepted the reality. And I made the most joy out of that event with them. So I don't know. I guess just I do it all the time. So I'm slowly getting better at, more used to it.
Yeah, and the support from those closest to you is definitely there, and it
Yeah.
needs to be there. That's never going to leave you.
Yeah.
I suppose you're probably one of the Aussie athletes that's most locked into their diet and their nutrition and how that translates to your training and how you perform. Obviously, you're not a nutritionist, but you've got a nutritionist in Trevor Khan, a very close friend and your training partner, and call back to an episode that we had with him. But what sort of tips would you give? Obviously, this is not like legal nutritional advice, but
Yeah.
what tips
Yeah.
would you give to athletes, especially the younger ones, on just how to eat healthier to be an athlete?
So for me, I prepare everything. I mean, obviously, I have to manage what I eat, so I have to be a little bit more prepared. But the habits I've got from that have been awesome. So on a Sunday, I'll cook up my chicken, I'll cook up my fish, and then I'll put it in different containers. So every night, I'll get out my chicken for dinner, some frozen veggies. I cook a batch of rice up, and then I just kind of put it into the bowl. So I got rice, chicken, veggies, put that in the microwave. I get my lunch ready for the next day. So some rice, some coleslaw, some fish, put that in the Tupperware, make my breakfast. So I do overnight oats. So I do that. I mean, I generally eat similar-ish snacks. So I'll just sort of rotate between like, I might have like two different jams on toast. So you can kind of mix it up a bit, a few different like muesli bars. So I can kind of switch. So I have a bit of variety. But it's just decision fatigue. Like if you're trying to decide, especially when I have to track and weigh and measure all my food, like it's exhausting and I got really tired doing it. So I just do it, bam, 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 everything's done. I mean, I'm done in like 15 minutes. My food's ready for the next day. Some of it's in the fridge, some of it's in my lunchbox. And then it means on the weekend, I can be like, okay, I got a bit more time. Now I can kind of plan around, cooking something a little bit different, just to enjoy a nice meal over Saturday night or something. And then finding foods that work for you. So I know, sort of people find, oh, like, this makes me feel sick, but then it's like, oh, you have to eat this or you have to eat that, or this is the best food and that's the best food for this and rah, rah, rah. But I mean, there's no right or wrong. It's just what works for you. So for me, I love bananas. I'll always eat bananas before training. Like if in doubt, if I feel sick, banana. Um, like I don't know. That works for me. Some people like rice, some people swear off rice, some people only eat pasta, but find the foods that make you feel good. And of course, are, reasonably fueling for your training and balance, just balance. That was a big thing that Trev instilled in me was you don't want to do too much protein or too much fats or too much carbs or, I mean, veggies, you can do lots of veggies. That's different. But everything else, you just want a balance. Like all the colors of vegetables aren't the same. So don't try and perfect anything. Just balance the foods that work for you and the process that works for you. I like planning, and that's a big thing for me.
We'll go into listener comments and questions now because we're sort of touching on that topic asked from Max Noble. He's wondering how you balance making weight while still feeling good on comp day as well. So obviously the preparation side of things is extremely rigid and you get that down packed. But then how do you, cutting so much weight now, perform to your best of your ability on comp day?
Yeah, so something that I was working on throughout the year last year, and I think I really sort of cemented, look, maybe not a final plan, but a good plan for my post weigh in. Because obviously you have your plan leading up to weigh in, but then I don't think about it as done. Like because yeah, what, you're not finished until you fight, right? That's when like the event's over. So just because I've weighed in doesn't mean I then eat. So I have like a plan, I weigh in every 30 minutes. I have 500 mils of water. The first 3 hours, I think, is electrolytes. After that is just regular water. And it's I think a liter per kilogram. I mean, I have it written down, so I don't have to decide, um, of, of kilos I cut in the last week. So it's called the acute cut, where you sort of are manipulating salt, fiber, water, all of that to deplete your body. So essentially, you have to drink per kilo a liter of water, I think. And so, yeah, I've measured that out. I've got my food measured out. So, half an hour after that first weigh in, I eat and I have rice cakes and jam, carbohydrates, nice and simple, but easy to digest. I mean, I haven't eaten much. I've got no fiber in my body. Like, so I've got to make sure. And then it's essentially every hour, and I've got the amount that I eat. So I'm not trying to decide. I'm not going, oh, I feel like this. Oh, is that going to make me feel sick or this? Because I had it. I'd be like, yeah, but I work so hard, and then I eat it, and then I'd feel sick. And then I'd be like, oh, that was dumb. So, yeah, I mean, and that's what I do until I fight. And then once I've done, then okay, fine. Now, if I get sick, I get sick, whatever. So is it doesn't finish until you fight. I mean, look, depending how long, I mean, I tend to sit lighter throughout the season. So I'm kind of dieting, whatever you want to call it, for the season, pre-season a little bit too. Then you've got like your acute cut, you've got your sort of final preparation where you might drop a little bit more, things like that. I mean, so what's one extra day? Like I'm doing all of that an extra day or 2 days before fighting just to make sure that I'm properly prepared. I mean, it's worth it, as hard as it is. But that's why I plan it beforehand, so I'm not doing decisions.
Yeah, I suppose it's that's a trusted process. That if
Mm,
you follow that, then you're gonna feel good on comp day. You're gonna feel good out on that tatami. Has anything
yeah.
not worked? Like as a follow up to that question, have you ever done something and you're like, I didn't fight
Yes.
where I know I can fight at this competition, and I believe it's because of this, and it's an alteration you make.
Mm, Honestly, the reason why I did this, like, and Trevor's big on process. Like, have a process, have a plan. Um, Now, he's very disciplined by nature. Like, he will do what's good for him. I'm not. So I would weigh in and then I would kind of go, yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. I'll just find something that's light and clean. And then I'd look and I go, yeah, but I haven't eaten that in ages. I'm sure it'll be fine. And then I'd eat it. And so I had times when I was like, I mean, I had many a post weigh-in meals where I'm like cramping. I'm like trying to walk back to the hotel and I'm like, oh, my stomach's just, it wasn't a big meal, but it just was not what my body was ready for. So I only had one comp. I hit it well. But there was one comp when I was fighting, and I was like, I've royally messed up. That was a big headspace thing. I got a really bad headspace that weekend post weigh-in, and that was kind of when I realized I need to do something about my mentality around the food as well. Um, and I remember getting punched, and I've never felt so sick from just a chewed on yak before. And that's including getting punched by heavyweights. So that was a big one where I was like, okay, my mentality is affecting my fighting now.
Mm.
So
And
um
that's huge because I think a great bite from
mm,
what you've just said is that fight the weight cut doesn't finish until you finish the fight, and I think we've all had that
Yeah.
post weigh-in meal that's probably
Yeah.
not helped us in the long run.
Yeah.
We should be
Yeah.
avoiding that. Not saying don't eat, but make sure you're eating something that you know is not going to affect you on weight day. You're looking at Mitch looking at me like you've had some experiences here.
Yeah. A big bowl of ramen after a weigh-in is not the go.
Not the go.
Maybe
not the go for you.
Not the go for me. Not the go for me. Maybe
Yeah.
for someone else. But that's not the go. I can tell you right now. Angel Georgiev has written in to ask you a question, Declan. He's actually asked you quite a few questions. So the first one, I just wanted you to rattle off the top of your head. Happiest karate memory to date?
Oh, happiest karate memory. I know exactly what it is. It's about following a sad moment. So the last Oz Open that my biological dad, was ever at before he passed away was the Oz Open I won. And I remember sitting at home getting the email that I'd been selected for Worlds. And I was sitting, I vividly remember I'm sitting on the couch on my deck out the back, and the sky was really clear because I remember looking up. I got the email. I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know that was a possibility. And I looked and I kind of read it and I reread it and I looked up and I just started crying. Like, it was just, like, it was awesome moment. Like, that my dad was able to experience that last thing. And I kind of felt like this was like, sort of conclusion to that sort of chapter, was being able to go. So, yeah, I don't know, off the top of my head, that's got to be happiest moment. It's just awesome.
That's huge. What a special moment to have shared with your dad. So that's beautiful. Thanks for sharing that, Declan. And Angel has another question here, which I think you're going to love. He knows that you like to journal a lot, and I think he wants to get into some journaling himself. Maybe this is what he's talking about here. He's asking about mental preparation, and also the benefits found from your journaling habits as well.
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, the benefits is one of those things where you don't think it's working. You do it and you go, this isn't, I had times where I started journaling and I stopped journaling, and I started and I stopped because it wasn't working. And then I don't know, it hit some point where I just got consistent. And then, so I journal every morning, every night, before every session and after every session. Now it might be like, if I have a busy day, I might sit down in the morning before eating and I'll journal like in the morning, and then I'll do my like pre-session journaling then. And then, and just before the session, like even if I'm training like 7 at night, I'll just read it, because like I might be teaching till 7, so I can't journal then. So I'll just read it quickly before training and be like, yeah, that's right. Like, that's what I was worried about. That's what my goal is, stuff like that. And then when I get home, I'll do like the post training and then like a nightly journaling. Um, so just consistency, that was like the big thing. And I just found that like I didn't think it was working, and then I realized that like doing that means now mentally I'll process things a lot faster in the moment, like because I'm practicing processing. Okay, being honest, what am I afraid of? How do I really feel? What is my goal for this session? So then, even if I haven't written it down, sometimes, you get busy or whatever. And then I just kind of go, oh yeah, I want to work on this today. And then I know that when you start judging, critiquing, you kind of go, yeah, but I'm working on that. So those things aren't important. Or sometimes you go, oh, it's a terrible session. And then you got to sit down and you go, oh, but actually that moment was really good. And you're like, oh, yeah, a terrible session. I'm really jet lagged, but like, I did some really good reaction work and so it makes you actually like critically note those things. So that's been sort of the big thing about the process and what works for the journaling. And it changes my headspace even when I'm not journaling. So that's why I keep doing it.
God, that's an incredible insight for all the listeners out there. I feel like that's where a lot of athletes are trending towards, is just being more accountable and keeping track of their progress, and how just noting down how you feel, how you really feel, putting it on paper so it's not just a fleeting thought. Very important for development.
And no one else reads it. So like I can write how I really feel, and I'm not, and it's just about me being honest to myself. Like, and that's a big thing. Because, at first you kind of write it and you go, oh, but like, I don't want to say that and stuff. And then after a time, I kind of go, no one's ever read my journal. Like, I've got like 3 completed journals. Like, no one's read them unless I choose to be like, hey, this was a really nice moment. Read this.
Hmm.
But otherwise, so I can be honest with myself. And then you kind of go, oh, it's not that big a deal.
Just getting everything out of your head and on the paper, it's
Mm-hmm.
amazing for the clarity and
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness for approaching not just training but like dieting and, to be honest, just anything in your
Mm-hmm.
life, which I think is extremely
Mm-hmm.
valuable. And I commend you for your efforts, because I've tried the journaling and I was good for it for a little bit. I was good at it, but I just fell off the wagon. But I do agree with you. There was moments where I was like, this is actually so good, because you just get less fuzzy up
Yeah.
here. But man, are you good
Yeah.
journaling? Do you journal?
Yeah, I'm pretty good journaling.
Damn.
But I seem to only journal when I'm on flights because I've got like the time and space to really think about it. I audio journal quite a bit
Oh,
as
the
well.
voice memos.
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
trying to get
I
really
do
good
that
at
too
that at the
sometimes.
end of each night, because I also just want to review my day, like think about my day. I feel like a lot of people forget what they like. What did you do on Wednesday? And like, I don't know. It was like 2 days ago. That's ages. How am I supposed to remember that?
Yeah.
So just reliving some of the
Reflection, yeah.
moments, reflecting on it really cements it in your mind. And even if it's
Mm.
subconsciously, it can help you in the future. So I do think it's a very good practice to do as an athlete, and I can see how beneficial it is for you, Declan. The amount of
Mm.
value that you provided in this episode, like talking about changes in weight, talking about, like, as I said, from
Mm.
the start of the pod, is getting your insight going into the first Premier League, and how
Mm.
mental preparation and what that internal dialogue is saying is so important for this time. And we really wish you the best of luck for the Premier League, Rome. I'm keen to see you. I'll
Mm.
be there on the Wednesday.
Me too.
I arrived the day before, but I'll see you at Media Day, which will be nice to see you in
Yeah.
person, and wish you good luck there. But it's been a privilege to have you on deck, and the amount of
Thank you.
value that you've given our audience is just incredible. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me. It's been lots of fun. And I like being able to be honest and share. Like, I'm more than willing to be honest if I find that. And that's why I started doing like the stuff on Instagram. If it can help one person, that video, then as stupid as I feel, it's worth it.
It's a voice that we want to hear more and more in the future. And we know that you're
Well, thank
only
you.
you're only just breaking into this next level of karate, and we can't
Yeah.
wait to see what the next, maybe even decade for you holds, Declan.
I reckon. It's doable.
So good, Deck. You're extremely wise beyond your years. It's been so good to get your insight. Love what you're doing. Keep smashing it over there. All the best with the weight cut and the preparation for Rome. And
Thank you. Thank
everyone
you.
in Australia will be backing you and supporting you for your performance in the Premier League.
Yeah. Looking forward to, I'll feel you all there. Especially you guys that couldn't make it. So looking forward to it, and see you guys soon.
Declan is really wise.
He speaks really, really well as well, like his articulation and of his ideas and his thoughts. And I think he's very sure on himself as an athlete. And I think maybe it's the journaling and the self-reflection and that's led to him being this wise.
I reckon it's the bald head. Yeah, the Buddha style. He's just like a monk.
Yeah, maybe you should shave your head then, Mitch.
No one wants that. No one wants that. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we covered so many things.
Yeah, we did.
Like competing at the highest level for the first time, not the highest level for the first time, but the Premier League
Yeah.
for the first time, making the decision to drop a weight category, how to manage weight throughout the year through competition, how to refuel. Oh my gosh, and journaling. We didn't even talk, like, we only scratched the surface on that sort of mental.
We
preparation.
didn't even talk about like him competing in open weight divisions.
Oh,
Yeah, I know, but it's just like the time. It's already such a long
Such a
episode.
long
Poor guy is just holding on, trying to weight cut and
Hanging on by a
sleep
thread.
and all of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So no, but yeah, he's had so much success in the open categories. It's such a lightweight. So like mentally, physically, there's no excuse for anyone not to go in those events and be competitive.
Yeah, I reckon if we get enough traction on this episode from everyone back home listening to it, we'll get him back on to talk about his run with the open events in Luxembourg and also going against Daniel at the Oceania last year, because that was a huge run. It was very good. Nath, you're going away to Rome. You let the cat out of the bag. You are going to Rome.
Yes,
You excited?
Yeah. I had to go through the same things as Deck. Had to cancel my flights, rebook flights. I'm facing a 41-hour transit to Rome. I'm going up to Japan, across to Switzerland, down to Italy, arriving the day before we work. But I mean, I'm not an athlete anymore, so like I can just drink a lot of coffee to get me through this. But no, I'm super excited. Rome is arguably, maybe definitely my favorite city that I've ever traveled to.
Oh my gosh, you're hanging your hat on that one.
Yeah,
Number one.
I do. I love Rome, and Rome has never had a Premier League, which is insane.
I don't think Italy has.
Maybe Italy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They have the youth league every year, but they're not really present on these major events except for the Junior Worlds last year, which I would love to attend. But yeah, Rome, Colosseum, it's going to be incredible. So yeah, leaving Monday, and I'll see Declan over there.
Awesome. Well, all the best for that one, Nath, and stay safe. And we can't wait to see the results from Declan's performance over there. I've got a good feeling about it. I don't know. But yeah, as always, please let us know your thoughts and opinions and feedback, and anyone you want us to chat to or topics you want us to cover on the Kaizen Culture Pod. We are loving this content, and make sure you go over to the WKF YouTube channel to check out the World Karate Cast. Comes out every off week, and we are talking about all the international events and hitting all of the international superstars.
It's been a pleasure for this one, Mitch. It's one of these episodes that just come along, and it's like I feel so privileged to have these chats to these people and provide this content and this insight to our community, because you don't get it anywhere else.
No way. All right, see you in the next one.